These details about the crash of Pakistan International Airlines Flight 8303 will shock you. May 22, 2009. After a failed landing, Pakistan International Airlines Flight PK-8888 was trying to make it again, but no one knew that this second landing was gonna be the last landing of this flight. The plane's 100 passengers and 9 crew members were all killed, with only 2 passengers surviving with minor injuries. The mishap also injured 8 persons on the ground, one of whom died as a result of their injuries. But why did this accident happen? Was there any technical glitch, or was the climate not so favorable? If you want to know, don't worry. In the next few minutes, we're going to tell you exactly what happened here. So let's get started. The crash. Pakistan International Airlines Flight PK-8888 was a regular domestic flight from Lahore's Allama Iqbal International Airport to Karachi's Jinnah International Airport. The Airbus A370 crashed on a second approach following a failed landing on May 22, 2009 in Model Colony, a densely populated residential area of Karachi, only a few kilometers from the runway. The flight, piloted by Captain Sajjad Gul and First Officer Usman Azam, took off from Lahore at 13:05, and it was nearing the conclusion of its 90-minute voyage when it crashed at 14:45 into the heavily populated Model Colony suburb, just 3 kilometers from the airport. In the moments before the plane crashed into rooftops, the wings were reported to be on fire. The incident caused damage to nearby structures, some of which caught fire. A CCTV camera on a nearby building captured the collision on video, showing the airplane just before it crashed into the neighborhood. Cause of the crash. The aircraft initially attempted an unsuccessful landing, reportedly without the landing gear deployed. Following that, one of the pilots radioed air traffic control to report landing gear troubles and the failure of both engines. ATC informed the pilot that he could utilize either of the airport's 2 runways and asked, "Confirm your attempt on belly." According to PIA CEO Arshad Malik, a technical issue caused the plane to circle around rather than land, despite the fact that both runways were open. "We are returning back, sir. We have lost engines," one of the pilots informed the controller. 12 seconds later, one of the pilots announced a Mayday emergency, which was the aircraft's final communication. Complications arose during the aircraft's maiden descent, according to officials from Pakistan's Civil Aviation Authority. When the airplane attempted its first landing, the landing gear was still retracted. Friction traces on the runway suggested that there had been some ground contact. The plane's left engine is thought to have scraped the runway near the 1,400-meter mark, while the right engine made contact at the 1,700-meter mark. When the pilot went around, it's suspected that the collision had already caused damage to both engines, resulting in engine failure following the go-around. This made it impossible for the plane to maintain altitude, forcing it to crash on the way back to the airport. GE Capital Aviation Services owned the Airbus A320-214 that crashed, which was manufactured in 2004. It took off for the first time on August 17, 2004, and from 2004 through 2014, it was leased to China Eastern Airlines as B6017. On October 31, 2014, the GECAS leased it to Pakistan International Airlines with a registration of APBLD. Before crash. The last routine maintenance check of the aircraft was completed on March 21, 2020, and the most recent thorough inspection was completed October 19, 2019, during which no issues with the aircraft's avionics, engines, or landing gear was discovered. The aircraft had been grounded from March 22 to May 7, 2020 as a result of flying delays brought on by the worldwide COVID-19 pandemic. The flight manifest, which was made public by Pakistan International Airlines, lists 91 passengers in addition to 8 crew members. The number of fatalities was first reported as 97, including everyone on board the aircraft, but one person who had been hurt on the ground eventually passed away. A citizen of the United States was among the travelers. Investigation. Pakistan's Aircraft Accident Investigation Board's in charge of the investigation. The maker of the airplane Airbus announced that they'll support the investigation. On May 26, an 11-person Airbus crew went to the disaster scene. The National Transportation Safety Board of the United States also declared that they support the investigation. That's it for today's video. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe for more.